525 Jackson Avenue, Morehouse. Like, when we first started, it was awesome, man.
And then I'm gonna take you, the levels unknown. I'm making you moan, majesty, the title and tone. Getting you respect from the cosmos, the only the God.
Air, can you see it? No. Can you touch it? No, it's weightless. But when it comes together, like a tornado, a hurricane, for example, the power of unity, black people, it's your time. We're gonna fly now. Don't be afraid. It's so powerful that it could toss a pickup truck from miles away. Look for your pickup truck. It's miles away. The tornado blew it away. Because air came together. It can send a grain of sand halfway through a tree. Black man, who is God? Peace.
We at the age where the ratchetness is at an all-time high. You know what I'm saying?
There. Y'all just tuned in to another episode of the Christopher Really Rucker Show. Like none other. We give credit and keep honor for that name and let the young brother spirit keep rising. Christopher Really Rucker. We know that life is hard and it comes with a lot of challenges, but it was the way you approach life that we could never forget it, brother. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you. Welcome all to the wonderful world of the Christopher Really Rucker Show. We got an exciting show today. It's going down. This is your host. And I'm going to put it out there for anybody who knows who's this host. You will win $1. Call up 914-636-0110 and name the host of the Christopher Really Rucker Show and you will win $1. Even my guests can win $1. I'm not sure who's giving you the $1, but you will win it. Holla. Today we have on our show, we have one of the elders who is formerly known as Mr. Mount Vernon. That's for his work alone that he does within the community. But he's also known very, very comfortably as one of the hip-hop pioneers' fathers, the fathers of a hip-hop pioneer who is over 20 years in hip-hop, which they call a game now, which is look like it's been reduced to. But he is a father and a continuation supporter of the community. He is one of my heirs, one of my elders, one of my most respected elders that I've seen walking the planet because he uses his nugget. We're going to put our hands together. Everybody in the studio, we're going to put our hands together. A warm round of applause for the brother Hammurabi Bey.
Thank you.
Hotep Soldier, what's happening, Pop?
That's much, brother. That's much, brother.
Oh, well, you here today, man. We here in the spirit, man. Today is Malcolm X's birthday, the 19th of May. And the spirit is still here. It's here amongst us. And I know you got some knowledge to kick, bro. Babe, every time I'm around you dropping science, man. What's happening today?
Well, the science that I keep dropping more is about us not being blacks, Negroes, colors, African Americans, Indians, slaves, Puerto Ricans, Jamaicans, Haitians, all of those names, we're not.
Oh, man, you just took it away from everybody. They have nothing to be. Now what they got to be?
Well, you can only be what your great-great-grandfather was before they made him a slave.
All right. So what is that?
If you study, you'll find out that we were Moors here in America.
And still are.
Before 1776.
Yes.
We don't know that. We don't know that the capital was in Philadelphia. We think that we were brought here. People I love think we were brought here. Minister Farrakhan, they think we were brought here. We weren't brought here. That's what they told us. We are the same people who was here on this land. They just mixed us in like they do apples and oranges and crossbreeding. Nobody knows what the original is.
That sounds like that's it. That was the intent for the confusion because today we could walk past each other. Somebody might be wearing red, black, and green. Somebody might be wearing red, yellow, and green. Somebody might be wearing red, gold, and green. And each one of the parties don't speak to each other.
Right.
So, I mean, is that? Do you think that was the purpose of that?
I definitely believe that's the intent, and it's still going on. Like, we can use the word nigger and feel ashamed because somebody says don't use the N-word.
Right.
Well, black is the same word.
Correct.
Colored is the same word. Slave is the same word.
New Yorker.
Yeah.
New Yorker, for that matter, is the same word.
To use all of those names that don't even say who we are.
So what is the solution, Bay?
The solution is that we need to learn who we are. So you got to ask questions. You got to say, who am I? Am I black, Negro, colored, African Americans? And who was my great-great-grandfather before they made him a slave? That's why they throw the books away, so that most of us around this table can only go back maybe 1.5 generations. You know, some of us, we can't even get to the father. We can't get to the grandfather. We can't get to the great-grandfather. See? And they make sure you don't do that, because we have no ties. You know, as long as you don't have no ties, you're going to have no history.
It's taking the root out of the tree.
Yeah. This is their history here, so we always go back to them. Egypt is back to them. Africa is back to them.
Correct.
Africa has never been named by the Africans. White folks named that. Everything you know, they named it. And you look in the dictionary and you'll see there's nothing in these American dictionaries that says that it came from the motherland.
Correct.
It comes from India and Australia.
That goes back to the principles of the etymology class that we're actually in tune with. If it's not Indo-European or before or pre-European, then what is there? Because there's massive existences, massive dynasties that existed before it was French, German, Russian, Greek. Before those titles were tied onto it, what was it before then? And that's when you're actually studying the etymologies of the words.
Well, we need to take off our blinders.
Absolutely.
You know, we need to think outside the box so that we can teach this. You know, if we don't teach it, it's not going to happen.
Well, y'all know y'all tuned into the right station. It's not by accident that y'all hearing this conversation. It's always going to be like that on the first and the third Mondays of every month on the Christopher Really Rucker Show. This is how we cutting it. We cut it sharp with a real sharp knife because we need the head to come off when we drop this science. Now, I'm also surrounded today. I was welcomed by a pleasant guest that y'all know is his voice on the radio. He's somebody who's y'all very familiar with. A very good brother of mine. He goes back for a minute. He's continuing on his same stride to be that first pioneer in hip-hop in Mount Vernon, bringing it down. And he was awarded on the stages last year at the Arts on Third, which we're not sure if that's going to carry on this year. But ladies and gentlemen, the ladies, I give you Mobango. What's good?
Peace, God. What's going on, bro?
Everything is everything. Good to see you,
Noble Hotep.
Good to see you.
Yeah, man. I'm just here right now, just trying to stay focused and trying to keep hip hop alive. Keep my artists doing their things. I came with a guest myself right here, and it's my artist. He's up and coming. He's doing his thing. His name is MAZZZNT. You know, I just want to give a little shout out.
Peace.
You know?
Peace to all the gods and earths.
Well, that's all right. I involved an open door situation on these shows because our levels of communication are basically relative. We saw in the Sean Bell situation, it doesn't affect just hip hoppers. It doesn't affect just pioneers. It doesn't affect the elders who have had the studies and the knowledge, nor does it only affect the young children, the children of Sean Bell. This thing affects everybody. And the more blood count, the more vicious. So, what is your perspective on the conversation that we're having with Hammurabi Bey about our beginning, our prime beginning, and our titles and our names of majesty?
I feel that, you know, young brothers as well as older brothers and sisters, I think as our people, we all should learn exactly where we come from and who we are. And it's very important because how you want to excel in this world if you don't have knowledge of self, where you come from? How could you know where you're going if you don't know where you come from?
Absolutely. I learned something that defines culture, some of the things that define culture. Our five senses are very important, that we have to use those in the world. We see through our five senses and we intake it, and then what we say out of our mouth is our culture. So if we're not eating cultural food, if we're not cooking from our great-great-great-grandparents or what they cook and what they ate, then of course the internal is not there to grow, so that we don't say wise things or give our children titles of nobility besides giving our children names. So it is important that we do know that. And for all those who don't know it out here, the balance is here. Hammurabi Bey is a chef. So he doesn't only cook up the brain, he cook you up some food so you can sit down and eat it with. And the doors are constantly open. So that title of Mr. Mount Vernon, that's a small title, midget title. He's grand because his heart gives up so much. So it's my pleasure to introduce the two types together and keep it bonded. It was never not introduced, but it's happening here on the Christopher Really Rucker Show. So what's your artist name?
Majesty.
Majesty, huh?
Yeah, man.
Peace.
What's happening, brother?
Divine. Basically, actually, it's Majestic Divine, but for entertainment purposes, I use Majesty. It's all relative and it's all good.
That's peace. How far did your foot treads walk to get to this station today?
You mean?
That's one of those questions.
Well, basically, bro, if you're asking me how long I've been endeavoring in the music, just as long as Mo has, but I started out DJing. I was with brothers, the DST and Little Quick, and these brothers from the Northeast Bronx, and also I was running with AJ and Curtis Blow Security.
All right.
Back in the days down on 149th Street, and I basically have been playing the background because I grew up with Slick Rick and his DJ Vance Wright lived on the corner before they got large and all of that, and Vance Wright, my partner.
Yes.
Peace, bro.
What's up, Vance?
Showed me a lot about the business. He took me to a lot of industry parties and things of that nature. So I played the background.
Yes.
But I always had a gift for writing. So I wrote. Then when I got my first piece of equipment, it just took off.
All right.
Because
So
I write my own music. I produce my own music. I master it. I do everything self.
So you got your own studio?
Yes, indeed.
All right. Come toward the end of the show, because we're about to get into your track. But come toward the end of the show, we're gonna give you some spin, brother. Right here.
That's what's up.
On the radio. Who's listening, man? Who's listening?
Well, everybody should be listening.
Great grandma's listening?
I hope she
Grandma,
is.
we about to spin them.
She's in the essence, she know.
That's right. We about to spin them and treat them right. Well, Bang, you always have a way of bringing artists that are reflective of who you are. Do you ever find a way that you compromise in your management of artistry because there's somebody who may not be exactly like you, but they're hot to somebody else?
Well, that's part of entertainment. Everything that may not appeal to your ear doesn't mean that it's not hot. Basically, music is universal, and you gotta please different crowds. So, what you may sometimes hear may not be always exactly appealing to you. Maybe appealing to somebody on the other side of the world.
Absolutely.
And if you go to Europe, if you sell millions and millions of records over in Europe, you may not have to sell not one here in New York or the United States. So this is a business first. And the whole thing is that, if he can sell records, whether or not I think he's the hottest thing out there, if he could sell records, pay his bills and my bills, and put food in my kids' mouth and put money in my pocket, I have to weigh that out, man. Because like I said, it's always business first. As long as he's not whack, and as long as he's not saying that that's degrading our people.
Absolutely.
I have.
Do you look for that? Do you look for that in the artist?
Well, I have to.
Okay, that's what I'm sharing, because as far as demeanor-wise,
right, I have to.
The artists that I've met that are in your camp,
right,
are reflective of who you are as a person.
Well, you know what that is about? I'm cutting short because I know this brother has something he has to play, but I'm like, you ever see the movie Rocky?
Yeah, when I knocked him out?
Right.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember that part, yes.
Well, I'm like, okay, if you remember old school Rocky, I'm like the old school coach. I'm like Nick from Rocky. I'm that old school coach that gets in there and be like, hey, man, get in there, man, and spit this and say, not tell him exactly what to do, but if I hear something that that could use improvement, I'm always going to say something about it, trying to tighten up everything, make it sound something that sounds, how can I say that, to the ear that people are going to listen to. Everything that goes on with music and hip hop is really something that's catchy nowadays. Back in the days, a lot of brothers was dropping this, that, and other, and hip hop was so universal that everybody would listen to whatever you had to say.
Correct.
Nowadays, it's got to be something catchy. It don't even have to be something dropping so much knowledge. I love the old school. I love brothers like Rakim, KRS-One, Chuck D that was dropping the knowledge. But nowadays the music form is different. It's like something catchy. So I would rather do both. Have somebody dropping a little knowledge and something catchy at the same time. So this way, give you something to listen to.
That's good. Sound like we're about to get into that track. Hammurabi, how we feeling on that?
Well, I mean, I've lived some of the stuff that the brother's talking about, and I try to advise people the same thing. There's certain things that I won't do, and it sounds like there's certain things the brother's not going to do.
Right.
But you have to remember that this is called entertainment, which means it's not real. You see, so
It's not entertainment.
right.
It's entertainment. It should be exertainment. So you could dance, you get your swerve on, it's done, and then go back to doing nothing.
Yeah.
Let's get to that track. We're going to get to that track number 10. What's the name of that track? Bring it on, brother. Let them know how it's going down here.
This is my joint. It's called You Know My Name, and it's self-explanatory.
All right, let's go into it. But team, I hear you on the radio. We're going to get you as soon as we get off with the piece. Roll them.
Striking the pose, that's for those who like to get flashy. The aura is nasty, even rolling in jets, you won't pass me. A magnet for girls, a polish for pearls. You step in my space, you unfurl, it's my world. I live by the basics, when I move in the space gets expanded. Stages, they give me bread. I rock the Apollo, yo, I'm leaving you hollow. First nigga that booze is getting swallowed. Down the throat, past the ribs to the gut. The only way I'm letting you loose is my ass. Lab is where you find them. Mapping my plans, correct focus is essential. Trials and tribs, I'm doing things I never meant to. But my mental sharp is dense, bound to dent. Next move, light it up, you getting sent to Geico, Austin, even the State Farm. If seats to disagree, you wave your arm and I break. When I'm through breaking, I'ma leave you broke. Beating down the dust, have you smelling like smoke. Not from cigars, cigarettes, woolies, or blunts, but the smoke from exhaust leaving niggas who front. The wisest of the wise tell you never to point, son, cause the day of retribution has begun. Herd them up like cows, let them up like shrimp. Turn them upside down, and then you break them down and give them the dirt. Don't you know my name? It's not the same old same. It's not the same old game. It's majesty, baby. Don't you know my name? It's not the same old same. It's not the same old game. It's majesty, baby. Rocky road is over and done. You can catch God up under the sun. Reaping the spoils of a war that's beneficial. Blowing out fake MCs like snotty tissue. To see the cream at the top, this is the issue. To all that's elevated, all that ever stated. The Jews that I created, and yes, this vision plated. Next I'm gonna state it, negativity's overrated. Wouldn't you just rather be able to get fly? Take off in your Hummer or walk on by. Never have to worry about drive-by, do or die, or the murder rate and rot some dead sky. Close your eyes, take your time, make a wish, or even fantasize of your favorite dish. Universal unity, equations of peace. Anything else in your mind obsolete. Don't you know my name? It's not the same old same. It's not the same old game. It's majesty, baby. Don't you know my name? It's not the same old same. It's not the same old game. It's majesty, baby.
All right, we back. Y'all heard it live in another exclusive WVOX Christopher Really Rucker Show. Your Majesty, what's good, man?
Everything, brother, everything.
I like that piece from the first time when I heard the music.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I specialize in something that's not the norm. I don't do the norm, bro. Everything that I do is come straight from the heart, so it's different. And I have a lot of artists that come through and listen, and especially these young cats, if it don't sound like the Neptunes or you know, something coming from one of these camps that's already established,
sure,
they don't want to hear it. But individuality and authenticity is always the best thing for you.
Well,
a lot of these cats, they want to sound like they want. If you have a Chris Brown, somebody want to sound like Chris Brown.
Right.
But see, Chris Brown started being himself. And if they don't understand that, he started being himself, doing who he is.
Remember one of the slogans from hip hop: often imitated but never duplicated. Mr. Magic. Let's keep it real, y'all.
That's right. That's right.
Let me give you your context. Right now, real quick. I apologize. Batim, are you on the line?
Fine, brother.
Hotep Soldier, how are you?
Peace.
Praise to Almighty God. Fine, thank you, brother Bay. What's happening, black man? Sir. I'm sorry, more.
That's right, brother. What's that black stuff now?
Had to fix that, sir.
All right, brother. That's good.
Hotep,
I love you, black brother.
Hotep Soldier, stay in the conversation. Batim,
Yes, sir.
stay in the conversation. I just want to let the brother Majestic give out his contact information, and we're gonna end up with you.
Okay, you can contact me at 917-743-8967, and I have my company is called MAZZZNT Entertainment.
You hit you on MySpace?
Yes, indeed. I don't know how you do that.
Yes.
address bar up top.
Man, just put your name out there. The children are
But
fast.
basically, if you go to MySpace, you can get me through the same thing. MAZZZNT Entertainment. That's MAZZZNT.
That's all it takes. The children don't need all that www no more. That's like saying 914 when you live in Westchester. Come on, y'all. Mo Banger, what's good? What's that contact information for you, man, and where you gonna be at?
Yeah, I'm around, man. I'm always around, man, trying to make it happen, man. 914-665-0170. Just give me a call, Mo Banger, man. Anything you need. You want to hear something from Majesty, if you can't catch him, you can always catch him. I'm his manager, and I got a couple of our acts right now I'm working with as well. Hey, man, we just trying to do the thing, man. We just trying to keep hip-hop alive, man. Keep it real.
Well, you just heard from a very, very decent human being. Mo Banger is not just an artist, an entertainment artist. He's a decent human being. Y'all get at him. You're going to see him on the streets. You're actually going to see him, July 5th in Brush Park, going at it, head to head.
AKA Slice, Colin Brothers, man, old school, man. We go back 30 years of this hip hop, man, and we just going through this. We supposed to be playing with DJ Sammy D. We supposed to be battling against him. Whoever may be, he's a good brother too as well.
Yes.
And we just doing it for the fun of it, man. It's not like a battle. We going there to kill each other.
Well, you know, we
nothing
going to
like
make the
that.
flyers like we did in the old school. You know what I mean? Put on some gloves and some DJs.
Right.
I mean, we're going head to head.
But it's all love. That's my people,
That's
Sammy
what's
D.
happening.
You know what I'm saying? And I just want to give him a shout out too as well with my boys, Colin Brothers, Mark and Jay, man. Big shout out to them as well. And we just go out there to have fun. It's all for the love of it. It's all for the love of the sport, man.
That's
you know,
right.
We love hip hop. We love what we do. It's universal. I'm glad this was invented because reason why, man, because whether you want to believe it or not, it is what it is, man.
Yes.
And we have to keep it live. We have to keep it real, and we have to keep it clean because a lot of it's going somewhere else where it's hard to bring it back. And if we don't clean it up, man, change it up, man, then our youth's gonna look at it like something different from what it is, man.
Boy, if I may interject, do you know what we really did with hip hop? We resurrected an ancient science.
And it's here.
True indeed.
It's within the soul.
And this is what these industry cats know, and they try to regulate it because they know it is a part of our culture. It's a part of our science.
True indeed.
It's a part of everything above is the same as is in
Majesty,
in the
you just hit
heavens.
on a point. You hit on a serious point about the science. And I'm going to get to Hammurabi Bey to drop the last bit of more science on this piece right here.
Well, the brother was dropping more science right
He was
there.
killing. He was taking it back
He
because
said, as above, so below.
That's right.
You
and
know.
there's so many things. I go on National Geographic and I look and I see the remnants of these supernovas leaving messages, and these are the things that they're looking at.
Yeah.
And we don't get to decipher, but we don't get to see them. I mean, it's something I seen in 1987. This supernova. Everything that's natural is labeled as destructive and death because it's death to the other man.
Sure.
But it's anything in the stars creates.
Yeah.
It doesn't die. It just
That's right.
regenerates and it spreads. There's no such thing as death. But there's one thing I have it right on my homepage on my computer. It's like 2 mega stars with the purple aura, and purple in the chakra chart is your
right.
highest state
Right.
of being.
Let me drop
And then in the middle is stars with a being inside of it, brother. If you go to National Geographic and you put a supernova 87 Cassiopeia, you see it.
It's gonna be 1 second too. I'm just gonna drop something real
Okay.
deep on what he said, and I'm gonna let you go because I know we have a team waiting. And I want to hold that brother because he definitely has something positive to say, like always. But I want to say one thing though. I was listening to some young brothers. We was sitting there building about rap, and we was talking about Chuck D, KRS. One day was like, "Oh man, that's old, that's whack. We gotta listen to this, that." When I say, "Okay, you like listening to what you'll listen to. You like listening about drug dealing, brothers killing each other, that and other." And this is why we go through what we go through. I say, if you listen to brothers that's dropping some jewels and some knowledge, maybe you might learn something, man.
Well,
maybe you might make a change.
That's the level of what we on the Christopher Really Rucker Show. Y'all heard it live. The show is never enough time. We got builders in here, true Masons that are building and edifying the world and putting it together for our More Science and the compilation. I got to give a big shout out to Collective Flow, all the members that keep it moving. We got things to do. We be at Monroe College tonight. Peace to Hammurabi Bey. Peace to Mo Bangham. Peace to Majesty. And even my man Tony. He's here, but he ain't got no mic. He got some headies on. Y'all know what time it is, family. Eat your fruit and your vegetables. Live strong. Have a great purpose so you can die proud. Don't worry about anything else in between there. Hotep, so from the Collective Flow. Signing off.
Islam.
Peace.